Hello, I'm a guy that likes to talk about music, and today I want to talk about a Beatles song, While My Guitar Gently Weeps. Of course, I don't think of it as a Beatles song. I've always thought of it as a George Harrison song. I guess because I got into George Harrison before I got into the Beatles, and how can someone become a George Harrison fan without first being a Beatles fan? Because I was an 80s kid. My introduction to George Harrison was from the Traveling Wilburys, not the Beatles. Everybody's got somebody. Yeah. Of course, some people would say that this was a Harrison Clapton song because it was Eric Clapton that played the famous guitar parts on the song. The song was first on the Beatles' White Album. That was the album that had Helter Skelter and Back in the USSR and Revolution and Oh Blah Da. And yeah, they had Clapton as a guest guitarist. That's how you know you're hot stuff when the Beatles ask you to sit in and help them out with a song. But so George was lying when he said that his guitar was gently weeping. It was actually Eric that was doing the weeping. So what was Clapton weeping about? I don't know. Maybe he was weeping over George's wife. But no, that's a different story. The first time I heard this song was on the Concert for Bangladesh album. That was a charity concert Harrison did for in the early 70s with Bob Dylan and Billy Preston and some others. And Clapton was there, but he didn't sing anything. That kind of surprises me. I mean, I guess, this was before his big solo career, but he could have sang something, Crossroads After Midnight, something. And then I had this song on another live album, George Harrison, live in Japan with Eric Clapton and his band. I don't know if that was the actual title or not, but that's what it said on the front of the album. It'd be kind of neat since it rhymed, George Harrison live in Japan with Eric Clapton and his band. And that's the version I preferred. I mean, over the Concert for Bangladesh album. Just because of the intro. Yeah, my favorite part of this song has always been the piano intro. Dun 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 dun. Yeah, it's kind of funny that a song that famous for the guitar part and even has guitar in the title and might be about a guitar. My favorite part is the piano. But it's all about taste, I guess. Like I was talking before about the Rolling Stones and about how, I know guys who, love the Stones like I do, but they're blues fans and they prefer the Stones' more blues-based songs. Well, I prefer more rhythm and blues-based songs. And none of the Beatles seem to be big blues fans. While My Guitar Gently Weeps is probably their most blues-based song. And yeah, it's just a little something I noticed. A lot of those bands that came out in the mid 60s, the Rolling Stones, Animals, Yardbirds, you could hear the blues influence. But the Beatles, they just seem to want to play rock and roll. You can hear the Buddy Holly, Chuck Berry, Little Richard influence instead. And then later on, you had more bands pop up that were blues based rock. That seemed like the main rock sound at the time. Zeppelin and Hendrix, and you can hear the blues influence in all of them. Big Brother and the Holding Company, even Jethro Tull at first. But the Beatles didn't do much blues-based music. They did everything else. They did Indian sitar music and New Orleans jazz and symphony music, etc., but not blues. They had to bring in Clapton for that. Yeah, Clapton brought some blues to the Beatles. But as I was saying, I really like the piano intro. I don't know who originally did the piano part. Was it Paul? But the version on Concert for Bangladesh, it didn't have the piano intro. It just started joom 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 joom. I don't know why. I mean, they had Billy Preston and Leon Russell there. Surely one of them could have played it. I mean, if Leon Russell can make Jumpin' Jack Flash a piano song, surely he could have done it. But anyway, there's actually a reason why this song was on my mind, but I'll get into that some other time, maybe tomorrow. June, June.